What's up, zombie fans? Mike back here with The Walking Dead. It feels like it's been forever since I've talked to you all and got to share my thoughts on these episodes. And let's face it, we're on part 2 of 3 parts for this last season, season 11. So we have tonight, episode 9, called No Other Way. And let's face it, tonight's episode was pretty action-packed. And I think it tied up a lot of things from the previous episode, which obviously left us at a total cliffhanger. We had a bunch of, armed bottle rocket bombs being fired down at Maggie and so forth. And let's face it, Maggie got her butt whooped a little bit in this one, but the Reapers also got their butts kicked as well. And I think, I did not feel sorry for Leah whatsoever in this episode. And I know a lot of us don't really like her anyways, and if we ever had a chance to even hate her even more, I mean, this was pretty much the episode. Gabriel, let's just hit it real quick. I mean, so he finally found that fanatical priest guy, which I wish we would have found out a little bit more about that guy, but obviously there wasn't a whole lot of storyline there. But the guy was trying to bring Gabriel back into the fold. He's like, don't you hear him? You obviously don't hear him anymore. You're talking about God and this and that. And Gabriel saw right through that BS. And I do feel that Gabriel is still a God-fearing man, but I just think his eyes have been opened into a whole nother arena, of the world, and there's no going back. There's no going back. And he saw through that BS and just stabbed that dude, just killed him straight out. I was just like, damn, Gabriel. I mean, his character has had quite an arc. I mean, I think it's honest to say that. I think you guys would agree with me, and make sure to mention in the comments if you think, who out of our crew that's left, who's had the greatest arc, when you think about how much we've gone through. I guess Maggie too, but it's weird. Sometimes I'm on board with Maggie a little bit, but then at times I'm like, oh, you're just kind of like a tyrant, but for good reasons or whatever. And by the way, it was payback tonight for Maggie. This is payback to the Reapers for what they did to her people, and they deserve it. I mean, I did not feel bad. So let's go ahead and talk about that OS moment that Maggie had then. We might just get right to it. The fact that they were able to capture one of the Reapers, which was the guy that Daryl absolutely could not stand. I don't even remember his name. Let's face it, the Reapers weren't that big of a story plot to me. I think to a lot of you too. I don't think they were just compelling enough, but they were an interesting group of mercenaries, no doubt. But they were able to capture him after getting a ass whooping delivered to Negan, Maggie, and their buddy. But anyways, Daryl managed to knock him out, but when they were trying to do that transfer to basically say, hey, you guys leave, we'll give you your buddy back, and then, after you get far enough away, we'll let him go, and this and that. And then I was like, they have to have a sniper, right? Because there's that mercenary group, they have to have an extra shooter, and they did. Except they didn't expect Gabriel to get up there, now which I guess some of us could argue oh, just in time, Gabriel, or just in time, Walking Dead, to free the Savior. But we knew he was lurking around and he was doing his thing, and maybe that's what Gabriel was looking out for him, to cover his friends. I don't know if that was part of the plan, but he got up there, and yeah, let's just say the tables totally turned on Leah. I did not feel bad for her whatsoever, but what was most shocking when Maggie, and it was interesting to see, she actually said Negan, and he says, what I would do, or something like that, and then she just kind of goes, blood drunk, AWOL, and she goes and she pulls out that gun, kills the 2 guys as they're walking away, backs to her, cold-blooded, and it even shoots Leah in the back as well, but it was just in the arm, and it looks like she will survive. And then Daryl goes running after her and basically says it didn't have to go down this way. But you know what? I'm like, Daryl, what are you even apologizing for? I mean, I get it for the story's sake and a little bit of drama and this and that, but really, what does he have to apologize for? I mean, she was evil, and she couldn't get it. She was part of a cult, and she just couldn't get past it, and not even for the love of Daryl. And so now she's moving on. I think there'll be more from Leah as the season progresses on. I'm sure we haven't seen the last of her, but no doubt, if she's ever going to go, it's going to have to be Daryl that takes her out. Furthermore, let's talk about the scenes where I guess... Now, this was bothering me a little bit, because I know they have some distance between them, but how is it sunny and bright where Daryl and Maggie and them are, but yet there's a near hurricane hitting Alexandria at the same time? I mean, yeah, I get it. Even if it was 100 miles, this can happen, right? but it just seemed a little odd. I don't know. I don't know if it did it bother you guys. Let me know. But let's face it. So Gracie and Judith getting stuck in the basement. I mean, serious problems. So I love the intensity of what was going on in that scene. The zombies falling into the water. I mean, thank goodness they actually surfaced again, because I thought they were going to be kind of like shark zombies. Just kind of crawling. As the water filled up their bodies and just. But most of them were walking as they're moving along, and so Aaron manages to hear this little whistle, right, and he gets to get back there in time to save them, which was amazing, especially seeing him bash those zombies' heads in. But then the staircase collapses, right? Now here's my thing, and there's my little problem with this whole exit strategy. He was basically stuck, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, maybe they're actually going to kill off Aaron. I mean, they were getting close to him. I was like, this is not good. And then Lydia suddenly shows up, and and this is plot armor, if you want to call it. Like, clearly they're not ready to let Aaron go, but she like pops in the window and she's like, oh, like, you're in trouble, I'll be back. And meanwhile he's like suspended, holding on to this like sewage drain pipe or something like that, that's up in the air, when the zombie's almost within just inches of dragging his butt straight down. And the next scene just cuts to a rope that's tied to some metal structure outside going in. We can't see what it's actually tied to. I assume the pipe, and then he, I guess, shimmied and crawled his way out. Listen, if you're going to show a scene, at least show us something that makes sense. I mean, to me, it was a bit confusing, and it was noticeable. It was clearly noticeable. I'm just like, oh, I'm just magically out now. Like, oh, thank goodness you were here. I'm just like, really? I know, it's nitpicky, but sometimes, guys, when you see scenes like this, you have to call them out and just be like, and just notice it's sloppy writing or sloppy editing work at best. Now, again, I feel they did this because I think they had too much footage and they didn't have enough time to get it all in. Should we forgive them for this? Probably. It's Walking Dead. We go with the flow, right? At least I usually do. But I had to call it out. So yeah, tonight's episode, again, there's a lot of action. They were tying up a lot of pieces. Maggie getting her revenge on the Reapers. Leah was one of the only ones that actually made it out and made it away. I think we're in store for a lot here, but I saw some footage for some episodes down the line, and let's talk about the very ending, where basically Eugene brought the Commonwealth to the settlement. Now, we knew, I think, this was happening as of the last episode. Like, he had to finally give in, or otherwise all his friends were going to get in serious trouble for breaking the rules and this and that. And so they show up, but although armed, they go in with helping hands. They're dropping off some ethanol and some other things or whatever. And the leader, or the speaker for the Commonwealth, even says, we'll help you rebuild, but I have another offer for you that might actually be very interesting. And obviously he's going to offer for them to come back. And I guess some of them took him up on it, because what did we see 6 months later? And I knew Maggie right away. I'm like, there's no way. She's lived this, between Negan and the governor and other ones in between. She's not willing to follow anybody's rules. It's going to be her or nobody. And what do we see her? She's back at her old settlement on Hilltop. Looks like they got the walls rebuilt and whatever. It says 6 months later. And there's a group of soldiers out there. And then she says it doesn't have to go like this. And one of them unmasks themselves, and it's Daryl. He's in the red and white stormtrooper outfit. WTF, guys, what is going on here? Is this like an infiltration move or whatever? Like, Daryl's just kind of playing along? Or is Daryl really believing in the Commonwealth and what they stand for? A little brainwash going on? I don't know, but it's going to get pretty cool. I think we're in store for some pretty solid episodes as we get into the second part of 3 parts for season 11. I can't believe it's almost over. But anyways, I've talked enough. Oh, let me know what your favorite scene was. I think mine overall had to be probably the scene in the basement. I think that was one of the most, when I was on my seat, with the zombies coming in with the water and Aaron getting trapped down there. But unfortunately, like I said, I think they got a little lazy with the editing. And also, I mean, we're headed towards the end. Should all of our people be making it out of these dangerous situations all the time? I mean, I feel like it's time to start cutting the cord, guys. You need to start killing some of these people off. I hate to say it. I don't want to see him go. But it's about that time. And then the last thing I want to mention, of course, is Maggie coming across poor Alden. Alden was previously part of the Sanctuary, under Negan's rule when it was bad times, at least around Negan. And, Alden had gotten fatal or mortally wounded and said that he would wait there for them and Negan was like, Maggie, we have to make a choice. Either we're going to go or we're not. And Maggie made the choice, and ultimately it led to Alden Alden's demise. So Alden is no longer with The Walking Dead. Interesting character. I think they kind of honestly put him on the back burner after the Whisperers and stuff, and I don't feel like we really got a whole lot of attention to him. So I guess he was on the chopping block for sure. So rest in peace, Alden. Thanks for all your acting on The Walking Dead. That was pretty cool stuff. And then furthermore, Negan, that last scene when he's with Maggie, and he basically says his piece, like, saying like, I saw what you were willing to do in there, and you followed through just like you always do, and I'm not going to give you the chance to follow through on that one last thing, which is ultimately killing him. And so he pieced out. Negan's on the run. Now, will we see him again? Absolutely. His story is not done. But, I mean, for one thing, I was trying to think about this. You can't blame the guy fully for wanting to leave. I mean, he has a target on his back like 24/7. So what else is he to do? I was just trying to wonder to myself, though, if he killed someone super close to me, a loved one, whatever, would I be able to let it go? And that's my question to you. If you've made it this far in the video, if you want to comment something in there, let's talk about this. Would you be willing to forgive somebody in the apocalypse if you knew their skill set and you knew that they had kind of turned around a new leaf and that they're trying to actually help you now? Could you forgive them for what they had done? Let's talk about it. I'm not going to give my answer yet. You guys start the conversation, and then I'll keep it going. So, with that said, I am Mike with the Z-Man Show. I hope you enjoyed this quick synopsis tonight and my show here. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And other than that, guys, we'll have another episode next week, and I will catch you at the next review. See ya.